Miracle Mike James straight, get him focused. I don't know why he would sit there and pose.
Well, he's got confidence. There's no shortage of that. And we also know he's got talent. We're going to see just how talented the one-man army is as both men are starting to feel each other out and see who has the advantage. And right now, the advantage is going to the one-man army. A nice little slip there, but Miracle Mike James showing that athleticism for the quick cover, just a 1 count. But look at that, staring down his opponent, letting him know that he's been there before. As I like to say, or I should say, what I hear all the time, this isn't his first rodeo. I don't know when his first rodeo was, but this ain't his first.
I believe July 8th, 1997 was his first rodeo. Could be wrong. I'll have to double check with our statisticians.
Yeah, we're going to have to confirm these numbers, but what we can confirm is we have 2 athletic competitors right now. Nice little chain wrestling there. Miracle Mike James and Zay K 47 feeling each other out. It looks like they're fairly even though Zay K has the height advantage. We do know that what Mike James doesn't have in height, he has in heart. He might do some questionable things, but he is in every contest that he's ever stepped foot in the ring, he has a fighting shot. And of course, we talked about the help he can get, or at least has leaned on in the past. But he doesn't need that right now. There he goes, trying to slip out of that headlock there with a almost 2, or I should say an almost 2 count, but the ring awareness is showcasing right now is Mike James getting back to his feet and now going for a pin of his own. 2, and Zay K kicks out. Mike James, there he is again, just kind of irritating Zay K 47. He keeps kind of wiggling his hair and trying to rile him up. I guess he's just trying to get him off balance and
trying to do a welcome to the business, kid.
Well, he just welcomed him with a right forearm right to the jaw there. And Zay K 47 showing that he can go toe-to-toe with a veteran at the squared circle. This is his first contest here at Trailblazer Arena, and we're excited to see what he can do. And so far, he's right there with Miracle Mike James, who's giving referee Alex a little bit of his mind. But again, you should probably be focusing on this contest as Zay K showing his speed, his agility, and some power there, hitting a nice drop kick, sending Mike James to his back and probably sending him back to the drawing board, trying to figure out what he can do to get inside the head of this man making his debut at Trailblazer Arena.
Marcus, do you notice the face paint and the tassels of Zay K 47? Very Ultimate Warrior-esque. I know you're a Warrior fan.
I have been for quite some time. In fact, I think the Ultimate Warrior's music has rung in these halls once before. We didn't hear it this time, but we definitely see that inspiration with the one-man army Zay K 47. You could say that about the Warrior, a one-man army of his own in the 80s and the 90s, a legendary, iconic figure here in the wrestling industry. And, of course, that impact, that legacy lives on, even though rest in peace to Warrior and all of his contributions. But Zay K 47, they're showing some strength, Warrior strength, maybe not quite. If he can throw Deacon Kane around like that, I'll change that wording. But he does get a 2 count in this contest, which goes on, and Miracle Mike James going up yet again. But that fight, that grit, and that veteran knowledge there paying off for him as he's able to get back to his feet and inflict some pain on this newcomer.
Zay K 47 with the roll-up there countered Miracle Mike James.
Yeah, referee Alex just counting the 2, and he's doing a good job keeping this contest at least moving. There's been some questionable tactics from those outside of the ring, and I'm sure at some point we'll be seeing Deacon Kane and his entourage, because Mike James, again, is not afraid of using some dastardly tactics at his disposal to win contests, and I'm definitely certain he's not afraid to use it against a newcomer here who's trying to make a name for himself, trying to prove himself, not only here to the Trailblazer fans, but here in the Midwest. But it's Mike James fighting for pride at the moment, and now focusing in there on the leg of Zay K 47. The one-man army might have one leg here soon enough.
Zay K 47 there, he had a flurry of some impressive pins. Did a sunset flip and then a backslide before Miracle Mike James there took back over and started attacking the leg.
But we got Mike James back into the ring now, again, taunting and trying to agitate, irritate the one-man army, who's starting to take not so kindly, and why should he, to those tactics from Mike James, but he's focusing in on the leg kicking, and now he's using his legs to try to take the air out of Zay K 47. And referee Alex is starting his count. He knows he needs to break up at 5, and he does so. Mike James at 4, and Zay K 47 looks like he's trying to figure out where he is, and right now it's on the receiving end of a flying knee from Mike James, who goes back into the cover, but just gets a 2 count. This match continues.
Miracle Mike James stays in control with a headlock there. As AK-47 starts fighting up. Elbow to the gut. Another elbow to the gut.
And a snap back to reality there. Mike James using leverage to his advantage. Now with that elbow, again, he's focusing in strategically on the body parts of AK-47, the knee, the neck, the chest, all those vulnerable areas to take the wind, the spirit, the fight out of someone who we've established has clearly seen what the Ultimate Warrior does. He draws on the power from not only the fans but from the universe, and right now he needs to draw on something to get back into this contest. James taking him in the corner. Referee Alex again counting to 4 before James breaks, and we've seen Mike James is not afraid to push the line. He might want to be thoughtful about pushing it too much because he's a count away from a disqualification, and actually he's almost a count away from a win. Look at that nice impressive sequence there. Mike James showing that athleticism, his ring awareness with a nice flying clothesline. He gets a 2 count, but now he's going for the crossface there and trying to, look at him. He's raking the eyes, messing with the hair. This is what he's been going to the entire time. Referee Alex, that's what he was counting for, because Mike James didn't have that locked in. He was definitely raking and pulling at the eyes, and now he's pulling at the arm tassels there and going back to the neck, using them to choke out his opponent. Referee Alex has to count to 5, and almost there, Caleb. Almost Mike James's cockiness, brashness cost him this contest.
Do we need to check the rule book if they're using a article of clothing? Is that still counts as a foreign object?
To be fair, he brought it into the ring, and it was something he's been wrestling with. I mean, we're going to have to check that, but we also need to check on the one-man army right now, who's just fighting to keep that light in his eyes, to keep that breath in his lungs, to continue on in this contest. Mike James now going to the lower back and wrenching in that camel clutch, trying to win this contest by any which way. He's tried by count out, he's tried by disqualification, and look at him just staring. Look at the evil in his eyes, that intent as he has, as he wrenches the back of the one-man army, who still has some fight in him, but it looks like Mike James is in firm control. Did I speak too soon again, Caleb?
I think you did. AK-47 once again slightly back in control. They're in each corner, and he moves out of the way from Miracle Mike James, who went for a splash. Clothesline from AK-47.
A running clothesline, a back elbow, and Mike James is on the ropes, literally and figuratively, as he gets sent in, and a nice spinning power slam. 1, 2, and Mike James somehow kicks out, and AK-47 is in disbelief as that nice little burst there almost won him this match, but almost isn't enough here at Trailblazer Arena. That was a 2 count, and this match, it goes on.
What's the old saying? Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades?
Yeah, I don't see any horses or hand grenades here, but what I do see is 2 men that really won a victory here tonight at Rise. Again, this has been an incredible evening, a historic evening, because coming up here very, very soon, we will crown our first Trailblazer Women's Champion. That's either going to be the Phoenix Princess, Amina Belmont, or Skylar Sparks, our main events to come. But right now, at Diving Crossbody is the focus, as Mike James somehow gets his shoulder up. The one-man army's AK-47, again, can't make sense of it. He's starting to pull out all the tricks from his bag. He's gone low, he's gone high, taking high risk, and this match goes on because that diving crossbody was only good enough for a 2 count. Mike James flying to the top in a modified coup de grace, 2 feet to the back is AK-47.
And that will do it Miracle Mike James with the victory.
Came out of nowhere. Oh my God, Mike James. Show up. Hold on a second. What happened? Is that how it? Is that the finish? Thank you. Okay, sorry. 3, 2, and 1. Uh-oh, Caleb, I'm sure you're going to miss that, but it was the thumb of Mike James that gave him the advantage. Also got him to the top with that vicious double stomp to the back. It was enough to get a 3 count, and there he goes back to taunting this newcomer to Trailblazer Arena. Mike James letting him know who the better man was, and somehow Zay K 47. Yeah, that's right, you tell him how close you were. He was a few times away from winning this match. And there he is, showing some sportsmanship, extending his hand.
Oh,
These two men
don't
embrace. Did I just see this